hot one today, but there's plenty of work to be done, so let's go. So if it wasn't already obvious, we're building garden beds today. I've done a little bit of work just to get a few things in the ground, but I wanted to walk you guys through what I'm doing for my garden. Just know there's a recurring theme with this kind of stuff. It's not all one size fits all. So what I do may not be convenient for you, convenient for somebody else. That is also including my empire of dirt that I'm sitting on right now. This is just what I use. There's no one size fits all, one solution that is the best for your situation, where you're growing, what you're growing, all of that. But we'll get into that a little bit later, possibly in another video. Right now, I want to focus on building more of my garden beds. This isn't all of them. I'm going to build quite a few more to fill out this space here. If I don't melt before the day is over. All right, so what we have here is nothing special. These are 2 by 8 by 8 foot, so 2 inch by 8 inch by 8 foot boards. They are the prime pine boards. I didn't spring for cedar. I bought enough of that for the fence. If you want to do cedar, if you want to pop the extra money to get cedar boards to do your garden beds for, more power to you. Pine is just fine. It holds up okay. It's not going to last for the rest of your life, but it'll still do the job for a couple of years, at least in my experience. We get a lot of rain where I'm at, so over the summer, these are going to see quite a bit of rain. I've built boxes just like this before, and they've held up just fine over the years, completely untreated. That's another thing. So we're going to take some measurements on a couple of these, cut them down to size, and get some boxes built. All right, so before we get into the actual build portion of this, I want to talk very quickly about something that I'm sure is to be brought up in your minds, or the minds of anybody watching. Why are these so low? Why didn't I raise them up? And 2 reasons for that. First of which being, I didn't feel like going through the pain of putting down supports and sheeting or what have you underneath my bed of soil. That was just a design choice. I didn't feel like building them up to what would be a working height for me, which leads me into my second point of I have a lot of little helpers around my house, and having raised beds that are at hip height for me would not be very ergonomic for them to help me with all of my garden needs, and when the time comes, finally, harvest. So that is why I'm just building them straight on the ground and not raising them up, mostly for my little helpers that will be in the garden with me throughout the planting, growing, and the harvest. Alright, so we have the ends of our boxes finally cut out, and next I just have it mocked up here. to make sure everything measured out correctly, which it did. So now I'm just going to back these off here and throw some screws in, and that should be it. All right, so I have these exterior deck screws. These are galvanized, I believe, or they're coated. But this is going to be perfect for our application since we're going to have water around it and they'll be outside in the in the weather. So I'm going to go ahead and drive 3 of these in here just to make our box, and that should be job done. Make sure everything's lined up right. Go to the bottom just to make sure everything sandwiches together well. There we go. Didn't want to go. And 2 is really enough, but I like to do 3 just for good measure. Alright, now we just do that to each of the corners, and we've got ourselves a planter box. Alright, so thanks to a bit of a camera malfunction there, I wasn't able to get the time lapse of me doing the rest of these corners, but next, we're just going to marry everything up like this. Get it all aligned. And then join our boxes. Grab a couple of our screws here. And I want to drive them a little low so that once all the soil is in here and everything, and that's that. This is our next addition on the vegetable garden out here. I'm going to add a couple more onto those, but you'll see them later. I just wanted to give you guys a quick basic how-to on how to do these. I've always done either 2x8s or 2x12s for this kind of thing, and it's worked out just fine for me. Like I said before, your mileage may vary with that. You know, you may be better off actually raising the beds instead of putting them on the ground. But you know, to each their own. Everybody's design is different, and yeah, this is just how I'm doing mine. And I hope you guys learned something. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any advice. And our watermelon friend still does not have a name, so waiting on that. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.